just with this context that you're early adopters, or you're early in your process with us, what are some of the wins that you've seen just in that first 6 months that you've been with us?
I would say our migration was at least our first win. It was smooth. It was painless. It took a short amount of time that we thought was going to take a lot longer. We were very anxious about it. And after just a couple of days, when we moved all of our registrations over, we were like, "Wow, that didn't take that long, or that wasn't that bad." We were really anxious about that. Um, the control that we have over a lot of things in Traction Rec is amazing. That is into the Traction Rec app and also the community site. That's not something that we previously had with our previous system.
Mhm.
So being able to control what the families need, what they're looking at, where can they get the receipts, all that kind of stuff was wonderful.
Our team uh, did a great job of creating trainings that really led to the success of the frontline team also adjusting to the transition. So there was a lot of thoughtfulness put into not only the content of the trainings, but also to the scheduling of the trainings. And I think even after that, I would say just the team, the Traction Rec team at GPY, um, the willingness to have them watch the training video, but also know that on the first day of registration, we're going to show you how to print that report even live if you want, and setting up some of those kinds of one-on-ones to walk people through stuff, even though they've done the video, but to see it again, and ask some of those more specific questions. But that's been really smooth, and I don't think it was made overly complicated either.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, layering in that training, having materials available at the time that people need it, that's such a great approach. You've had some registrations since you've been on Traction Rec. So just wondering if you could do a little bit of a comparison, or just what are some of the differences that you saw with registrations in more recent history?
It's funny that you asked that, because I remember the first, I think it was July 2nd or 3rd, because we went live on July 1st. It was shortly after that we were like, "Oh my gosh, somebody registered on the community. How we didn't tell anybody about it. It wasn't promoted.
That's
They
fine.
just did it." And we were like, they didn't call to see how to do it. It was just so user friendly that they did that. And that we were like, well, if somebody could do it, that's how we know it works. And that was honestly 3 or 4 days after we went live.
That's so awesome.
Oh, it was, and then we were like, well, it must be working. There's no bugs, there's no problems, there's no errors. That's amazing. So that was phenomenal.
That's awesome. I think you've had a big registration more recently as well, right?
We actually launched Traction with our childcare programs first. So our launch for membership and youth programs, swim lessons, all that didn't actually happen until very recently, which I think is what Tony's going to talk about right now. So we kind of did, a unique order, I think, on things, but it worked with the academic year and where we were at.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. So our childcare launched July 1st, which was a nice little dabble into Traction Rack. I think it was we kind of got it felt like we kind of got the behind the scenes look before everybody else did, which was wonderful. Then October 1st is when our membership and programming launched. And then on October 14th, we had our first live program registration, which was the best that we've had yet. We were all up at 6 a.m. waiting, and it went great. No problems, no errors, very successful.